Hello out there, this is your friend Goke Omigbodun, welcoming you to Out of the Box News Analysis, and that's for today, a special edition, today being Monday, the 3rd day of August 2026. And today we are taking a special interest in Osun State because very soon, in exactly another 12 days, that's less than 2 weeks from today, we will be having the Osun State gubernatorial elections. So we need to discuss issues, matters arising. What is the state of the economy of Osun State? What are the things that have happened over the years in Osun State? And we need to go into statistics. We shouldn't just be talking without having facts and figures to deal with. And so I come with facts and figures to you today. And for the purposes of this analysis today, I am checking on 3 particular years. And these are 3 particular years that have been the last years of particular administrations in the governance of Osun. 2018 was the last year of the administration of Governor Rauf Aregbesola in Osun. 2022 was the last year of the administration of Governor Gboyega Oyetola in Osun. And this year, 2026, is the last year of the governance of Governor Ademola Adeleke in Osun, unless he is re-elected. So therefore, let's look at what did each of them take from the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee and compare the notes. And I decided to pick on 3 particular months, or do I say 1 particular month in those 3 respective years. The month of April. The month of April 2018 had exactly 1,586,152,806 naira 13 kobo. Let me call that all over again. 1,586,152,806 naira 13 kobo. You can approximate that to be 1.6 billion that Governor Rauf Aregbesola had, and that was one of the highest figures he ever had. Front jump to 2022, by which time it was the turn of Governor Gboyega Oyetola. For the same month of April 2022, the total allocation that came into Osun, according to the same source, the National Bureau of Statistics, was 3,351,235,220 naira 31 kobo. That you can approximate as 3.4 billion. So, mind you, for Rauf Aregbesola, 1.6 billion. For Gboyega Oyetola, 3.4 billion. And you can see that's almost double or about double from the era of Rauf Aregbesola to the era of Gboyega Oyetola. Now, this present dispensation of Governor Ademola Adeleke in the same month of April, but in the year 2026, got from the federal allocation accounts the sum of 13,694,321,224 naira 80 kobo. And that you would approximate as 13.7 billion. So we are talking of a government now who got 13.7 billion in April of this year, compared with that of Gboyega Oyetola that got 3.4 billion, the same equivalent month 4 years ago, and that of Rauf Aregbesola that got 1.6 billion, the same month 8 years ago. And so that will tell you that between Rauf Aregbesola's administration and the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke, the allocations have jumped about 7 to 8 times. 7 to 8 times. of what Rauf Aregbesola had access to, and about 3 to 4 times of what Governor Gboyega Oyetola had access to. Now, there is also usually this issue of, you have to factor in inflation. And so I decided to go and look at inflation figures from the same source, the National Bureau of Statistics. And you'll discover that the inflation figures for this year from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that the inflation rate is about 15.9%. 15, so less than 16%, 15.9%. But I have always put across that argument that, they changed the base year for the reckoning of inflation figures and the economy generally from 2009 to 2024, and therefore those figures of 15.9% may not be the true figures of inflation rates for now. So I decided to ask all kinds of AI devices, take me away from 2024 base year, take me straight back to 2009 base year, what will be the inflation rate in Nigeria today? And the figures came out to be between 24 and 27%. So, which tells you that inflation rate, 24 to 27%, but the multiplication of the income from Federation account, 300 to 400%. So let nobody therefore speak comparing inflation rates to absolute figures of funds coming into Osun State. Then one more thing, I want us to do a proper comparison, and I honestly want us to do the comparison in as simplistic a way as possible. In the days of Rauf Aregbesola, and just like in the days of Gboyega Oyetola, minimum wage was 35,000 naira. So that tells you that in the days of Rauf Aregbesola and in the days of Oyetola, unless there was any drastic change in the number of civil servants, the wage bill would essentially be just about the same. Nothing materially different. Not much lower, not much more. But by the time Governor Ademola Adeleke came into the saddle, the minimum wage was doubled. So, which tells you that most probably now, whatever figure, simplistically reasoning, was the figure of wages and salaries of Osun State workers in the days of Rauf Aregbesola and in the days of Gboyega Oyetola would just be about half of what it is today. So today, the Osun State wage bill must be about 2 times. And I have not seen any indication to show that under the Ademola Adeleke administration, there was any form of massive intake of people into the civil service to indicate that anything may be different. So with a government having about 300 to 400 times equivalent of what predecessors had taken, and those predecessors were confined to paying AFUSA because they could not even have enough funds coming into the state that could actually pay the entire wage bill. And then there was that other government that came after and was trying to solve that AFUSA but could not solve it because what they were earning was also just about 2 times what the Rauf Aregbesola administration was earning. But here is an administration earning almost 10 times what the Rauf Aregbesola administration was earning, almost 5 times what the Gboyega Oyetola administration was earning, and paying just about 2 times what the two of them were paying as wages for workers of Osun State government. We should have seen better sustainable development in all ramifications in Osun State than we are witnessing right now. And that's why I went to statistics, because I will always like people to take me up on account of statistics. And I am suspicious of governments that will not always want to let people know the truth of the situation and say hard facts about issues. Perhaps I need to remind you that when the present administration came about October 2023 with a 100 billion naira infrastructure plan, they came talking as if there was a magic somewhere. Oh, the people before us were just embezzling the funds, this and that. And I remember that I was the first person to come out with figures of what the allocations were in the respective administrations of Aregbesola and Oyetola, and to compare with the figures that the present administration is taking right now. And after, juggling it here and there, they admitted to taking much more than they never mentioned the percentage that is about 3, 4, 5 times what the immediate predecessor was taking, almost 7, 8, 9, 10 times what the Rauf Aregbesola was taking. These are issues that we should look into and understand and appreciate. Do we have development in Osun State now that is equivalent, therefore, of about 6 times that of Rauf Aregbesola? Because I mentioned 6 times because I have factored in 24 to 27% inflation. Do we have development in Osun State right now that is at least 3 to 4 times that of the Gboyega Oyetola administration? I am saying that because I have also factored in the new minimum wage and the rate of inflation. Those are questions that you should evaluate and find answers to. There are issues that people will raise from here to there. I have always, for instance, raised the issue of the flyovers. Flyovers, one of them being built for 15 billion naira. And I said, how come this? Especially since the laterite, 15 billion naira has been taken out to build the flyover, but there was nothing to indicate that laterite for the filling of the flyovers will be taken free of charge from lands of allottees of the GRA behind Osun State House of Assembly, of which I am one. And I remember that representing hundreds of us that are allottees of the lands there, I wrote a letter, others wrote letters, we took television people there. The land degradation here is bad. And by the way, don't believe me, take a drive behind the Osun State House of Assembly, take a drive along that route from the June 22 interchange and go towards Ilesha, pass by the Fountain University and look at the degradation to your right. Everything because they needed materials to build the flyovers, and then the allottees there are suffering in several ways. One, you have not repaired the routes to their land, so they cannot develop their plots of land. 2, time is going by and the environmental degradation is still there and is being taken free of charge against the development of a 15 billion budget to build those flyovers. Please, people of Osun, let us tell ourselves home truths. This is no more the time for razzmatazz. This is the time to ask questions, get answers, do what is right. Make sure you go out to vote. Don't sell your vote. Sell only what is good for yourself against the future. And that is good conscience in voting whoever you deem will take Osun State to greater heights. No more dancing around the issues. No more the razzmatazz of the shenanigans, of deceiving people and making them believe what is not true. We will come with the statistics. Expect more statistics from me very soon. God bless you.